All this has raised the question of why it's taken a secret tape to draw attention to practices that have been out in the open for years. One of those voices who's been criticizing Donald Sterling for quite a while now is our next guest, Dave Zirin, a sports columnist for The Nation magazine, host of Edge of Sports Radio on SiriusXM. He's the author of several books, including Bad Sports, How Owners Are Ruining the Games We Love. The book includes an essay on L.A. Clippers owner Donald Sterling. Zirin has posted it at thenation.com under the title Slumlord Billionaire. Dave Zirin, talk about the latest.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the latest is the tipping point. And the latest is the sort of comments that should only surprise people in the NBA if they've been living in Dick Cheney's bunker for the last 10 years. The warning signs of Donald Sterling's racism and egregious behavior and his misogyny go back more than a decade, and they have coddled him for decades. You know, Amy, there's an expression when we talk about rape culture, for example, that the definition of it is not just the crime, but it's people who see what's happening but choose to do nothing. There is a racism culture in the ownership ranks of the NBA. In other words, not every owner is as outward a racist as Donald Sterling, but for decades they have chosen to enable him and look the other way.
Dave, on the recording, Sterling suggests the NBA's owners are more central to the league than its players. He also uses paternalistic language to describe the players on his team.
If you don't feel it, don't come to my games. Don't bring black people and don't come.
Do you know that you have a whole team that's black that plays for you?
Do I know? I support them and give them food and clothes and cars and houses. Who gives it to them? Does someone else give it to them? Do I know that I have? Who makes the game? Do I make the game or do they make the game? And these are 30 owners that created the league.
That's Donald Sterling. Dave Zirin, as I understand it, fans aren't coming to the games to watch Donald Sterling sit in the stands, but he seems to have a really jaded view of what his role is. What does it say about the NBA that this guy has been allowed to own this team for so long?
Aaron, that would be an outrageous statement for any owner, but that is a particularly outrageous statement for Donald Sterling. Donald Sterling is someone who bought the Clippers for $13 million, $3 million down, $10 million on layaway. And he has seen that investment, despite having losing seasons for, I believe, 28 of his 30 seasons as an NBA owner. Despite that, he has seen his investment rise from that initial $3 million to a team that he could sell for $800 million to $1 billion. And that is not because of Donald Sterling's genius or greatness. That's been because the league as a whole benefited from the sweat, blood, and tears of people like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and the aforementioned Magic Johnson. The idea that this is Donald Sterling's brilliance is ridiculous. And I'll even take it a step further. We're living in an era where the public pays for stadiums. We show up to watch players. Owners are superfluous in the 21st century sports environment. And if Donald Sterling doesn't realize that, I think he's getting a crash course in that this week.